So, you want to play Ekko, the boy who shattered time, in D&D? This is how I would do it.
I'd rather make mistakes than make nothing at all.
Most characters in the League of Legends universe are human, though there's also Vastaya, Yordles, and monsters. Ekko is one of the prior, so we pick the Variant Human for extra versatility. As Variant Human, we start off with 2 ability score improvements and a free feature. Hi, future me here. I forgot about the skill that you get, so yep, pick acrobatics, I don't know. Enjoy, bye. The abilities will improve are Intelligence and Constitution. Intelligence to reflect his tinkering skills, and Constitution to make him beefy, which is pretty necessary in Zone. The feat we'll choose is Skilled. We'll get into the chosen proficiencies later.
Let me be honest. I have no idea what I'm doing.
According to his lore, Ekko was born with immense intelligence and was tinkering even before he could walk. Therefore, we start with Artificer at level 1 and change it up a little bit later. Let's dive into Artificer first. At level 1, an Artificer gets the ability Magical Tinkering. With this, you can use an action to give a tiny non-magical item a simple magical property, like making it emit light, store a voice message in it, show simple visuals on it, or even make it stinky. Then at second level, you begin to learn to infuse items. This means you can make magical items basically, so it's kinda the level 1 ability but on steroids. Examples of the things you can make are Little Guy, Vertical Trampoline, and Temu knockoffs. Pretty neat stuff. Alright, and then it's time for the specialization at level 3. I personally think Battlesmith is the best one, because you get a construct that can do things like damage, and also the abilities around it make the most sense for Ekko compared to the other subclasses. You can flavor this device as, for example, the Z-Drive. The specialization gives you an extra attack at level 5. Ekko does get up close and personal with his clock hand to smack you across the face. And in League he has a 3-hit passive, so this helps reflect his fighting ability. At level 6 you get the ability Tool Expertise, which makes you better at using tools. And at level 7 you get Flash of Genius, which gives your in bonus to an ally who's making a roll. Then at level 9, Ekko or his construct get extra abilities when making an attack. He can deal more damage or even heal an ally. This can either reflect his 3-hit passive, the damage from his Q, or the healing from his ultimate. Then at level 10, we can attune to even more magical items, so that's pretty neat. You also get this at level 14, and can then attune to literally anything while ignoring the usual restrictions. Then when Ekko reaches level 11 in Artificer, he can store a spell in an item. This can be used, for example, his W. You can store spells such as Web in an item, then throw it at an enemy, and basically stun them, just like his W. And then the second class we're going to get is Wizard. Specifically the Chronergy school, where we at level 1 get some spells, and Arcane Recovery, where we can regain spell slots equal to half our wizard level after a short rest, but only once per day. You can flavor it as Ekko going back in time a little bit to reset his spell slots, even that's totally not what's happening. If your DM allows you to be creative, this just works perfectly. After this, we get to choose our School of Magic, and as mentioned before, that's going to be Chronergy. At second level of Wizard, we get the abilities Chronal Shift and Temporal Awareness. Chronal Shift allows Ekko to help out his teammates or annoy his enemies by forcing them to reroll any d20 within 30 feet of him as a reaction, going back in time and changing the outcome of the roll. Temporal Awareness allows us to add our intelligence bonus to our initiative, being the first into battle. As we know, Ekko doesn't really shy away from a fight either. Then the big thing of Chronergy School Wizard for Ekko, Momentary Stasis. This ability works almost perfectly the same as Ekko's W in League of Legends, incapacitating and reducing the speed of a creature to 0 within 60 feet of him. So basically stunning that creature. I think it's important to mention that you can choose the order of levels yourself in these builds as well. I'm just giving you the amount of levels that I think would work best.
My pasts have a way of catching up.
So all the League of Legends characters in Arcane had their backstories basically removed. And Ekko isn't any different. From what we know, Ekko doesn't really have parents in Arcane, where in League of Legends he did. I think for his backstory in this case, Urchin works best, especially since it gives you proficiency in Stealth and Sleight of Hand. The proficiencies from the Artificer class will be Investigation and Perception for his ability to tinker and craft. But you can also change one or both of these to be Arcane and or History, to keep the Smart Boy Hextech for Arcana and the Time aesthetic with History. That said, our first feat also gives us proficiencies, but we'll talk later about that in this chapter.
If there are limits, I haven't found them yet.
Alright, so feats. With this build, we get a grand total of 5 feats, including the human variant feat, which, as we said before, is...
Never had luck. Never needed it.
With this feat, we get proficiency in 3 more skills or tools. I would pick the skills you didn't choose with Artificers, so if you picked Investigation and Perception, I'd pick Arcana and History with this feat, and vice versa. Then the last skill you can pick will be Insight. In Zone, being able to read people's intentions is extremely important.
All out of warnings.
Ekko is a fighter, and this feat helps him do it. Since we need to get up close and personal while playing as Ekko, Warcaster helps us be able to keep concentrating on spells when taking damage. You can cast spells while holding weapons, and you can also cast spells as an opportunity attack. That's perfect for him.
No one keeps me down.
Coming from Zaun, Ekko is quite resilient, especially with his skills in combat as being from the Firelights. I think tough is perfect to reflect Ekko's strength and, well, toughness.
Someone's day's about to get wrecked.
Ekko has quite a bit of muscle on him. He's seen to use quite a few athletic feats. Taking this feat allows him to climb, jump, and stand back up faster. Perfect for someone like Ekko, who fights effectively and swiftly.
Good a time as any to act reckless.
Charger kinda reflects Ekko's E ability. When Ekko runs straight to an enemy, he can deal extra damage on hit, just like Ekko's E, dashing before bonking hard. Also look at this shit.
It's not how much time you have, it's how you use it.
Simple damage dealing spells can be flavored as Ekko's Q. For example, Fireball, Acid Splash, Chromatic Orb, Catapult, and Ice Knife are all projectile based spells that deal damage on hit. Then for his W, we take spells that grant us a shield or CC enemies, like Web, Shield, Snare, or Hold Person. This can all be flavored to look like Ekko's W in game. If your DM doesn't allow visual flavoring for spells, find a new DM. His E is a quick dash with extra damage after another dash. Combine spells like Blink, Kinetic Jaunt, Freedom or Movement with spells like Booming Blade or Sword Burst to perfectly reflect all the dashing and smashing. Then for his ultimate, Ekko travels back in time to heal himself and deal a blast of damage. Combine this with something like Blink plus Shatter, Thunderclap or False Life, and you get a near perfect representation of this ability. Of course, be creative yourself for even better combos. To stay more in the arcane theme of Ekko, just pick all the Chronology spells from Explorer's Guide to Wildmount from Critical Role to stay in the Time Wizard realm a little bit more.
It's like it was made for me.
His weapon and armor are simple. Ekko has a Warhammer flavored as the arm from a big clock and is wearing leather armor. The infusions we can choose from are the enhanced weapon. It changes the Warhammer to be a magical weapon that deals more damage. Returning weapons, so you can use his Q with your weapon. Although the Warhammer doesn't have the throne property, so then you'll have to choose a different weapon. Mind Sharpener, so Ekko can keep concentrating on his spells while in combat a lot better. Good for a wizard who gets up close and personal. Boots of the Winding Path, which can teleport you back 15 feet to a place you were before on your turn, so that's a great combination with an AoE spell to reflect his ultimate, or just the time travel aspect. And lastly, the Armor of Magical Strength. You can add your intelligence bonus to a strength or dexterity check or saving throw, and you can also use your action to not be knocked prone if you were to be knocked prone.
You used to be cool.
And there you have it, Ekko the boy who shattered time in D&D. Let me know what you think of this guide, if there's anything you would change, or if I completely messed it up. Don't be afraid to leave constructive feedback so we can all learn. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Who do you want to see next? Thank you for watching.